Amazon is the giant online marketplace where you can find everything from books to Bluetooth speakers to designer clothes. Yep, you bet. But here's the twist. Not everything that glitters on Amazon is legit. Counterfeits have sneaked their way onto the platform. And it's a full-blown whack-a-mole situation for Amazon. Let's say you want a pair of those high-end Nike sneakers. You see them listed with a photo that looks legit, a description that sounds right, and maybe even some convincing reviews. But when they arrive, the logo is a little off, the stitching's suspicious, and they just don't have that real feel. That's the counterfeit dilemma. Fake products sneaking in under real brand names, fooling people into paying premium prices for low-quality dupes. And it's not just an annoyance. It's a huge problem for brands and for Amazon itself. From luxury fashion to cosmetics, Amazon's marketplace has become a hotbed for counterfeiters who know how to game the system. Amazon's response? They've rolled out anti-counterfeit programs like Project Zero and the Brand Registry, giving brands more control and tools to crack down on fake sellers.
In a light-filled warehouse in Brooklyn, New York, hundreds of workers are meticulously handcrafting police and military garments, cutting, stitching, and shaping shirts, backpacks, and body armor with Cry Precision's patented camouflage called Multicam, then packing it into thousands of boxes, ready to be sold, often on online marketplaces like Amazon.
Amazon.com has perhaps tens of thousands, if not more, products that are available in authentic multicam and is presently being used by perhaps several dozen armed forces all around the globe.
But in March, Cry filed a joint lawsuit with Amazon against counterfeiters. It's a problem Cry says costs it millions of dollars annually, and that happens with alarming regularity.
At what point of your job are you dealing with counterfeits?
Unfortunately, it's almost every day.
In 2020, Amazon launched a counterfeit crimes unit to team up with brands and law enforcement on investigations like this.
We're not going to stop until there are no counterfeits in the Amazon store. That is our mission.
Amazon also has online tools like Brand Registry and Project Zero that give sellers some power to report and remove counterfeits. But retail experts say it's not enough.
So even if that product is counterfeit or stolen, they make money every time there's a transaction on their website. So they're not really incentivized to pull this stuff down quickly.
Counterfeits are a decades-old problem for all online marketplaces, including Amazon, which launched its third-party site in 2000.
The explosion of digital commerce has dramatically increased the amount of products that are offered to consumer for purchase, which therefore means there's quite a few more counterfeit products available for purchase.
By 2016, sellers told CNBC the problem was growing after Amazon's effort to openly court Chinese manufacturers. Sales from Chinese-based sellers on the site more than doubled in 2015.
Absolutely, it got exponentially worse. There's zero doubt about that. I mean, that opened the floodgates.
In the next few years, big brands like Birkenstock and Nike quit selling directly on Amazon, pointing to counterfeits and the Wild West nature of the marketplace. Then came the pandemic-fueled online shopping frenzy. In the stock market, Amazon was doing better than ever, but more shoppers meant more incentive for bad actors, too.
The pandemic obviously put the problem on steroids a bit because suddenly everybody was home. A lot of folks were shopping from home. People were chasing goods that were elusive in some respects.
So in June 2020, Amazon launched its Counterfeit Crimes Unit, or CCU, as a small team of 10 to 12 data analysts, investigators, and former federal prosecutors like CCU head Kibaru Smith.
It was called upon from the highest levels of the company at the time, Jeff Bezos. And in over 4 years, we pursued over 21,000 counterfeit bad actors through either civil suits or criminal referrals.
Now, Smith's CCU team has about 35 people.
We're all over the globe, from Seattle to Milan, London, team members in China.
In 2023, Amazon says it partnered with law enforcement around the world to seize 7 million counterfeit products and execute more than 50 raids, spending $1.2 billion and employing 15,000 people to make it happen.
In China, for example, last year alone, we had over 50 investigations that resulted in the detention and arrest of over 100 counterfeit bad actors. We also partnered with the City of London Police in a raid action where one of our team members was involved and embedded with the City of London Police related to counterfeit toothbrush heads.
Amazon also sues counterfeiters alongside brands like Yeti, game company Dutch Blitz, and Cry.
Shade is completely off from our standard that we we are very strict about. So this pattern is on tens of thousands of soldiers.
While counterfeits have always been a big problem for high-end brands, the rise of e-commerce has made smaller brands like Cry a target too.
This was a counterfeit brand called LQ Tactical. They have an Amazon presence, unfortunately. They were trying to bid on military contracts as well. Genuine Multicam Black has a lot of black areas in it to conceal in dark environments, as you can kind of see right here on this small panel of it. But their pattern does not. It's actually got a lot more lighter areas in there, so it's going to be pretty ineffective for the wearer.
Unlike counterfeits sold on street corners, online, shoppers have less opportunity to verify authenticity before a purchase, although there are some ways to check for red flags.
Looking to see how long the seller has been in business, how long they've been selling on a particular platform. Do they have a lot of customer reviews? Things like that.
Although to complicate matters, illegitimate sellers sometimes buy a slew of fake positive reviews to appear legitimate. Even for brands themselves, like Cry, it can be hard to distinguish between a counterfeit online listing and one from its thousands of legitimate resellers.
The colors are pretty close to our actual standards. So the brown is fairly close to the brown, the olive is very close to the olive, and they're using the exact same shapes as well. So that, kind of throws us off if all we have to go off of is just an image on the internet.
When we see a shirt and pant set on Amazon in multicam for $40, we know almost for sure that that can't possibly be authentic multicam, because it would just simply be impossible to produce a garment in real multicam fabrics at those price points.
Now, let's bring that same drama home. Enter the MK Party in South Africa, donning camo uniforms in Parliament like they're ready for a covert mission, sparking one of the most controversial dress code violations in the nation. So, is it symbolic or a step too far? Let's get into it. Let me take you back to the day when the MK Party stepped into Parliament looking like they were straight out of Call of Duty. But hold up, this wasn't a random fashion choice. According to MK Party spokesperson Ndlela, it was a statement. A symbolic one. Think of it like a costume party, but with a political twist. They wore these military-style uniforms to commemorate the soldiers who fought for South Africa's liberation and to remind everyone why they believe peace exists today. See, Ndlela claims this isn't just some fashion trend. It's a nod to the fallen soldiers, our very own liberators. But there's a twist. Ndlela also had some spicy words about the government of national unity, saying it wasn't the way things should have gone back in 1994. Ndlela argues that the GNU just glossed over the deeper issues. According to him, it left 30 years of poverty and economic marginalization for Black South Africans. Basically, he's saying, why celebrate a government that didn't do enough? His stance? We should have taken back our land and country fully. No compromises. Strong words. But while MK Party's uniform served as a reminder to remember these fallen soldiers, not everyone saw it that way. Social media, of course, had a field day. People were like, wait, is this even legal? Well, if the EFF did it with their red overalls, why not? One Facebook user, Samuel, called for disbanding the MK Party, claiming this was impersonation of the military, punishable by up to 5 years in jail. And he's not totally off the mark. The South African National Defence Force has rules. According to the Defence Act, unauthorized possession or wearing of military gear can land you in serious legal trouble. Think of it like trying to wear a police uniform to a party, except this could cost you 5 years of your life. Now, not everyone thinks the MK Party crossed the line. Content creator Penuel chimed in with a, hey, chill out take, suggesting the uniforms were a symbolic tribute to MK veterans, like how the EFF wears red overalls to represent the working class. Mlatswa's take, it's all symbolism. His point? Every political group has its look, its identity, and this was just the MK Party's way of honoring history. Ndlela wasn't exactly silent on the backlash either. He doubled down, saying that critics need to recognize their freedom to tweet and express opinions, thanks to the very soldiers who wore that uniform and died for them. So, what's your take? Was the MK Party right to wear the uniforms as a statement, or did they cross into legally dicey territory? Are we witnessing symbolism, or just another way to stir up controversy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you loved this breakdown of South African political fashion statements, hit that like button and subscribe for more takes on the wild world of politics, culture, and everything in between. And hey, no camo required. But just like MK Party's camo uniforms in South Africa, these counterfeit products keep sparking heated debates around legitimacy, symbolism, and brand protection. It's Amazon versus the counterfeiters, MK Party versus tradition, each one fighting for a symbol, an identity, and in some cases, just plain authenticity.